I'm Method1cal. I run this game. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Uh, yeah, this game is very consistent comparative to some of the other Battle Royale games, except maybe one, because, well, you'll see.
Oh, you started. Cheese, you got the timer? I guess we'll go based off the video.
Where's the,
There's no global hotkeys. It's on the top. I was expecting something like, okay, and start now.
Oh,
Method's just like,
okay,
I'm
and
going.
start approximately 40 something seconds ago.
We'll just spot you that time.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Stop. It doesn't have to start.
Just spacebar. Give it focus and do spacebar.
Okay.
There's no global hotkey. or
Okay,
anything.
gotcha. Alright, I'll set it up so that it gives it like a minute.
Oh yeah, I guess you can do that.
So you'll notice the tutorial is the same in pretty much all of the games. 4, 5, and 6 have full synchro, which is new comparative to 1, 2, and 3. In 4, 5, and 6, counter hits give you full synchro, makes your next chip do double damage. You'll be abusing that a lot up until Dive Man, and then for specific fights with Heat Man. But after we get Heat Cross, we're mostly not going to be using counter hits at all, really.
Spoilers.
So you can't set a negative offset. We could probably just restart if we want the timer to be accurate right now.
No, I think it's fine.
Alright,
Only what?
about a minute behind.
He's gonna go fight base. There's a few optional things you can do throughout various Battle Royale games during the speedrun. 6 is unique in that it's one of the ones that lets you fight base sort of early compared to the others. And so Method's gonna show off base in the middle of the run.
I won't get a record on this run. Gonna fight base. Although if I do, I'm gonna be a little disappointed in Terra's time.
I'm a little disappointed in my time. The start's really bad. One of those classic no reset world records.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sphero and Prof are trying to explain, but this game is very unique with its battle system. You basically get a deck of cards and you draw them in battle. But then once you choose your deck, it's real-time action RPG rather than turn-based. Oops. Yeah, we're not going in order. You haven't missed anything. That was pretty early.
The one cool thing about the Battle Network series as far as speedrunning goes is each game is very distinct in how it is run. So while there's something to be said about playing a series in chronological order, for the speedruns I feel like there's a bit more variety and the flow is nicer if you don't necessarily follow chronological order. Like there's a reason we're ending the marathon with Battle Network 2 and 1, which you will see when we get later to them. They're very different from the others. 6 is a pretty, I think, sort of classic speedrun, where there's not really any tricks to it. It's more like just taking advantage of what the game gives you and playing well. Right, Method?
Y- yeah. Playing well, right. No, it's very much that. There's a little bit of RNG when you get into really optimizing the times, but if you just want to be consistent at the game, that's totally possible as well. Except for Dive Man. We'll get to that later.
Dive Man is probably, now that we know the pattern for GBs, I think Dive Man is the most annoying boss fight.
For sure. Dive Man V1 specifically as well. The second fight's not so bad. Okay, so I'm talking to this on purpose. We're going to be picking up some reg memory and regging various different battle chips throughout the run up to a certain point, and then we're just going to ride on one for the rest of the run. After that, you'll see that when we get to it. Oh. This fight's hard with that wide sword. I don't know what I'm doing with that wide sword. Okay, we're good. I think 6 is a good starting point. It's very traditional as a speedrun, I guess. You go fast. You can talk to these guys sideways, don't worry about it, it's fine. So if you don't know the story, basically what's happening right now is an evil Navi, Blast Man, well, subjectively, is manipulating one of the students in Land's class to burn down the school using the copybot, or the robots that are school security and somehow have flamethrowers installed.
Japan has very strict rule enforcement.
They do, that's definitely true.
I like how committed
at
that
least
one
in
kid
schools.
was to his punishment. It's like, you're gonna stand here with this bucket on your head and you're not gonna move.
Yeah.
The building's on fire. No, just stay right there.
And now this is the, you could call them dungeons, that's pretty much what they are. They are networks. And this is the one where you
Method,
fight
is
the
your
first
stream?
boss in the game.
Okay.
Is the toy, no, not the toy Robocomps, wrong game. Robo Control Comps, got it, nailed it. Yeah, so the gimmick in here is that you have to save the progs who are burning, and there are these firewalls. We don't really mind those, so we're just going to take hits from the firewalls. It's usually faster.
Almost always faster. And they can't kill you. The most they'll do is reduce you to 1 health, which the viruses in here aren't too threatening. Dang, my stream's buffering.
Yeah, I'd be pretty sad to get hit once by one of the viruses in here, let alone die.
Those champions are pretty quick with the jabs.
Dude, I have like 4 reflector A's. This is the best.
Oh man, I love the start. Did you get any mock guns?
I did not. That's okay. Got 1 fight left.
My stream is
Probably it
buffering
will be a
hard.
fire hit though. Firewalls, can't they prevent viruses? Ironically, I think they're caused by the viruses in this case. I have 5 chips, there's still an encounter left. Strimmer wins wave dashing off stage. Just wait for Winter Swan.
Oh man.
So we're gonna pick up another reg memory here. If you talk to a prog while a flame wall is being generated, it'll remove the flame wall entirely and you won't get hit by it at all. So that's what I did just there. That one's kind of tight. There's another one further up in the comp that is much less tight though. We actually want that Battle of Green mystery data. That'll give us a reward at the end of the comp. It'll either be Zenny or, well, it was Zenny. You can also get Boomer and Tornado, which are both very good chips. Mostly for boss fights. Boomer will be a lot better later. Don't worry about reg memory, Prof. We'll explain that soon. Okay, so I have 5 chips, I believe. I guess I'll take out an attack plus 10. I actually have 6. But I don't really need that extra fire hit. I'm not going to take the time to edit. We're mostly concerned with the guards, for sure.
Battle chips are a significant part of any Battle Network game. However, when it comes to speedrunning, sometimes you can get away with a lot less. And in particular, like for Battle Network 6, you'll see later on, battle chips lose a lot of their significance. Some are really nice though, like reflectors are going to help a lot early on. And Blast Man's the first boss for Battle Network 6, and he's not too tough. Bosses are all about sort of pattern recognition. For Blast Man, he's going to move 4 times and then attack, and if you anticipate it, you can counter hit him, which will put you into full synchro. So, nice counter hit with the sword. That was really fortunate positioning and timing.
Yeah. It's like the one time in the run area grab's good before Beast out anyway.
My stream's lagging a bit.
Is the 30 in the corner mean? The 30 in the top left is my HP. The number under the boss would be his HP. Yeah, Blastman doesn't have too much he can do. He has like 3 different attacks. We saw one of them there. He did 2, but one of them got countered a bunch. The other one didn't go off either, but you could see he was starting to spawn a flame wall. He can also do another attack where he comes to the front and does a really quick fire cone through your area, which is moderately irritating. The counter timing's a lot faster on that one, so if I wait the usual amount it doesn't counter and I'll get hit.
Yeah.
Dude, I got 4 sneak runs, nice.
Pretty good start so far.
I would say very minor time later.
Going by the timer, you have like an 11-minute Blast Man.
Yeah, that's that's really good. It's like 50 seconds behind though, which is still not too bad, I guess. Alright, so I picked up another reg memory 3, I think the one on Central 2 is, and that key data is going to let us get into the next area. That's not there prior to this. You have to beat Last Man for it to show up. Did we explain encounters yet? This would be a good time to explain how sneak runs work, I guess. So similar to repels in Pokemon, they let you avoid random encounters. They work based on Mega Man's maximum HP. Maximum base HP, I should say. So your base 100 plus however many reg memories or HP memories you've picked up, which each boost Mega Man's hit points by 20. If you have... So run rates in this game are decided by maximum base HP as well, and if you have enough to escape 100% of the time, then you can also sneak run and avoid encounters entirely. Otherwise, sneak run does nothing. It won't reduce your encounter rate like repels will. I think they do that. Repels, that is. I know what sneak runs do, for sure. Yes, we've explained counter hits.
Sounds like someone needs to pay attention.
So we're gonna stop in this off comp here. This blackboard's gonna have another reg memory in it, and we're gonna be regging something very soon. In fact, I can do it as soon as I pick up this reg memory. So I'll go ahead and do that. We're gonna reg a reflector 1A. That'll stay on reg for a little while, until we switch off to copy damage for the first time. So what regging a battle chip does is it will always appear in slot 1 on the first turn of a battle, every time you get into an encounter. You can't just reg any chip, however, you need a certain megabyte capacity for each battle chip in the game. We get 12 megabytes in this game. In the speedrun, the maximum is 50, I believe, in all of the games that have reg memory anyway. It starts in 2. So, the reason we reg Reflector is because for this fight it gives you a bit higher a chance to be able to one-turn the encounter. And it almost guarantees that another encounter in the split is a one-turn fight.
The viruses in these two fights also line up really nicely, so Reflector is a guaranteed double hit.
Yes. Which is very nice. And basically the story for this part is Mick has a penguin and we have to find out where the penguin came from. Reflector also helps throughout Seaside, which we'll be going to shortly. It helps in the Aquarium as well, but I think I'll be regging copy damage for Aquarium. It's a little stronger. This guy has lost his plunger, which right now we just know that he's panicking, but soon we'll find out that he's supposed to be doing something. So, the way to Seaside in Central Area 3 is blocked, of course. It's a recurring theme in this game. You get pretty much all the other net areas from Central 3, but they all start off blocked to you. This guy's supposed to repair those drainage pipes, and that'll let us get through. But since he's lost his plunger, we have to go back and talk to him, because we don't actually know that yet. And he tells us what happened, and it just so happens that we might know where his plunger is. It happens to be in our own bathroom. Of course, it's a plunger program, not an actual plunger, so we have to jack into the net to get it. Oh, our emotes are working. Awesome.
Yeah. Normally the Matar in the back is protected by the shield, but there's like a 1-frame propagation delay on the reflector blast, so even though it looks instant, it gives the Matar time to come out of invulnerability and just get destroyed. I remember originally we stood in the back, right? When
Yes.
the strat was first introduced,
Then I tried it in the front and it worked still.
we're still learning things about these games. That's cool. I'd say all of the current records they're a lot better than they used to be, but everything is still pretty improvable except for maybe Battle Network 1. That one's really solid.
Yeah, you'd have to do some rerouting to improve Battle Network 1 at this point, I think.
Oh gosh, don't say rerouting. That's right. Yeah, that's in the bonus stream. Beef. I will be sure to do that. So on the way to Seaside, you can get a few random encounters, and they're usually
This
pretty
is
annoying.
literally the worst encounter you can get.
I believe it. The swordy sort of just move up and down. Oh, and you got area grab. That's unfortunate. After a while, they'll area grab you. But their counter's a little annoying. And the pufferfish, really. This whole fight's just a mess. And rather unfortunate draw, like none of the particularly strong chips.
This guy's gonna move down. He did, but it didn't help.
Both of these viruses are good. There's a potential we'll get a chip we want.
Yeah, potentially you could get Longsword S, which would be pretty good for Dive Man if you draw
Or
the
Train
PA,
Arrow.
but also Train Arrow, which is a chip that we want and actually need to finish the run.
Similar to how Reflector was a lock on the first door, Train Arrow will be a lock on a future door.
Yes. In addition, it also speeds up one fight drastically if you draw
Yeah.
it. You can have up to 3 copies in your folders, so we get pretty decent odds if we get 3 Train Arrows.
Depending on chip drop, for sure. Can someone quote Marco on that? I'm sure he said it before. One day. Thank you, MC, for that clarification.
Okay, so
When-
now we get the Navi Customizer. This is introduced in Battle Network 3. It lets you customize Mega Man in various ways.
It lets you make cool pictures in the Navicast window.
Yeah,
and put
you get to
pieces
play
off the grid.
Tetris. MBN 6, the rules are more like suggestions, so we're just going to skip through the tutorial.
Proof that Lan really isn't paying attention.
The default programs they give you are Undershirt, Attack +1, and Speed +1. It is Speed, right? Not Charge?
Yeah.
Okay. Attack +1 boosts your buster stats by 1, so charge shots will do an extra 10 damage, and normal shots will do an extra 1 damage. Speed decreases the delay between firing normal shots, and Undershirt makes it so that you'll live 1 lethal hit with 1 hit point as long as your HP is 2 or higher. I say 1, but anytime your HP is 2 or higher, you will live the hit. As long as you're not at 1, you'll survive the lethal hit with 1 HP. So you can heal back up. Of course, I don't have any recovery chips in my folder, so... And the folder editing priority in 6 is really just take out the recovs and then wing it from there. I take out the extra swords, I leave 1 of each in for the PA in case I draw it. But aside from that, your folder doesn't matter too much. You want non-LM chips if possible.
There's really only one fight where that matters.
Yeah.
But it can make a big difference.
It can make a difference on Diveman EX as well. If you lose Heat Cross.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, you know, sometimes the pattern he gives you is so bad it makes me wonder, like, at what point is it better to just go for the consistency of Beast Out?
Yeah, if the pattern's really bad, it can be slow.
So now that Lan has learned all about sea creatures, we'll use this knowledge later.
And we also picked up the last reg memory we'll need for there. And we've regged copy damage, which we're going to be going back and forth between that and Crackshot for a little while. But after that, we're going to leave Crackshot on, or copy damage on reg, sorry, for the rest of the round.
I thought we were doing guard for Seaside.
You know, I did it with copy damage yesterday though, and it was really fast, so...
I guess it kind of is preference. Copy damage is really good because if you draw any useful chip, now you have 2 of it, and it's star coded. Whereas if you reg Reflector, it's A coded, and where you won't always get the double hit out of it. So, it's whichever one you like more, really.
So now what's happened is, naturally, because Lamb went to the aquarium, things are happening at the aquarium. Someone has hacked the net, and all of the sea creatures are out of their cage, and their tanks. Even the
They're just
sharks,
chilling in
which
the
somehow
fountain.
swam out the drainage pipes into the town's water. And there are piranhas in the fountain, because naturally that's linked to the aquarium as well. It's a very safe setup. This is the really important copy bot that doesn't put you inside of it with the cutscene. You have to remember to get in. Which sounds obvious, but I mean, pretty much every mistake that can be made in this game is being made by someone at this point. And probably multiple people. Okay, so now that we got that ball, we can go in here. The seal is moved. And this brings us to the second network. The gimmick in here, if you've casualed this game, you might remember it being kind of a pain. Actually, all of the sharks in here have set patterns. They'll do the same thing all the time. If you do the same thing all the time, the red ones literally just swim around in circles. They are slightly faster though. The black ones will try to chase Mega Man, but if you take the same route every time, so will they. So it's actually pretty easy to get through here. The pain for this whole scenario really is the encounters in this comp. They can be pretty nasty. And then the dive man fight is not very fun either. Help. That was terrible.
Sometimes like one thing gone wrong will just cause a chain reaction of
Yeah, it'll throw you off balance. And then sometimes the fights go like that, and you get a train RIA.
Dude, nice.
So yeah.
Aquarium comps take, and every now and then they give.
That was a good fight as well. So apart from that first one, we're doing really well. So this specific prog and this specific comp is easily the worst of Aquarium. This chip draw though. I should have just went for the sword. Okay, if you mess up that prog, it gets really bad because the patterns change slightly after the first, well, after the first time you pick up a prog. And that's why we do that one first specifically, because it's a huge pain if you don't. And we got a second train arrow, that's really good. Obviously the minimum you need is 1, but 2 is definitely much nicer. The difference between 1 and 2 is a lot bigger than the difference between 2 and 3, I think. Oh, so I should mention, once you pick up these progs, they do give you a hint as to what tank they go in. And from there you can have Lango run around in the real world to find out which tank it belongs in if you don't remember. You can go talk to all the displays. And that's our third train arrow, so yeah. Doing good. Welcome everybody who's just popping in a chat. Yeah. Prism will be here to do Battle Network 1 later on. For sure, the music in these games is very good. All of Mega Man, really. Alright, so this is the last proc, and then we're gonna quickly edit in the train arrows we got, and reg anything other than copy damage, and go fight Dive Man. So we got 3 train arrows. I'm gonna go ahead and take out 3 swords, as they're by far the least useful. And we're gonna reg the crack shot again and fight Dive Man. So Dive Man's a little tricky because while he has a set pattern, he doesn't always attack when he pops up. He'll always move 2 tiles and then pop up to attack, but he won't always attack. So counter hitting him is pretty difficult. I mean, it's literally RNG, which is kind of a pain. Okay, the one time you can always counter hit him is when he does that, if you're quick enough. Train arrow is a very, very good chip. That probably would have killed him if he was in the back rather than the middle. Yeah, see. You can tell sometimes when he's going to attack because the torpedoes won't come up right away. He would have attacked there if I didn't kill him. But even with that, it's very hard to counter hit him, unless he does the wave. He is a subman. There are certain chips that can hit him when he's underwater. That includes Mini Bomb, Firearm, Heat Crosses Buster. We'll get to that later. Basically though, any arced projectile will hit Dive Man when he's underwater, as well as, ironically, Firearm. So this is the split where all the cool things start to happen. This is where we get Heat Cross. If you've played this game before, you know about the crosses. Basically, after completing a specific scenario, you'll be able to turn into an alternate form of Mega Man. In this game, you can do it in battle on command. You just hit up on the chip select screen and choose which cross you want. Only one of them is actually required in the run, and just happens to be the most powerful one, so that's what we're going to be getting. We're not going to bother to pick up any others, although you could make arguments for picking up Elect Cross, and some people do that in their runs. Okay, so if you didn't reg Crackshot for Dive Man, you would definitely want it regged for this, because regging Crackshot makes it so that you can take out all of these fixed kettle fights with just your reg memory chip, as well as Heatman's inherent chip, Heat Press, which does 70 fire damage. Now, the gimmick with the kettles is that they only take damage from fire, and they don't have traditional hit points. Instead, they die when they reach 100 degrees. So, when they're boiling. And if you don't kill them in one shot, it'll rapidly decrease. So, you really want to kill them in one shot. And Full Synchro and Crackshot let us do that. So it works out very well. Now, despite that, this scenario used to be pretty bad before we started regging, or before we started picking up lots of reg memory, because of the last fight, and you'll see when we get there, but we need copy damage to do that fight quickly. So we're gonna reg copy damage again right now. So, quickly, the problem with this fight is that there is a kettle in the back row, and Heatman's Buster cannot hit the back row, though it does do fire damage. So it would be a huge problem if we couldn't kill that right away. Oh gosh. Okay, there we go. Hit the button too many times. So now we get to fight Heatman. We want Crackshot back on reg so that we can always counter him on the first gauge. He'll always move to the back center to attack. That lets us counter him really easily. Ideally you would draw a train arrow out of that. We did not, so we're gonna just take some cannons. We're not getting any luck on the train arrow. There's the train arrow, but now we don't have full synchro. So we'll hold it for now. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna counter. This should, though. So, with just Crackshot and Train Arrow, you can drop them to 40 health. And that's why Train Arrow is so good for that fight. Unfortunately, that was a pretty bad example. This is just a tutorial fight explaining Heat Cross. It's gonna get much more powerful than it is in this fight very quickly. Bombs are so bad in every VN game. They're very hard to counter with, yeah. Although, for this game specifically, they do have the benefit of being non-element, which is important later on. Oh yeah, and the operator we get that cross from obviously is Mr. Match, is operating Heatman. Mr. Match is a good guy now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He could never do anything bad. He gives us the best cross. All is forgiven. Alright, so we only do 4 lotto codes now. I'm gonna go ahead and take out 2 chips, naturally. I'm gonna take out the mini-bomb L's actually, because L is a really horrible code. And then we're gonna go ahead and edit the navicust. So what I just put in there, you might notice that the HP plus 400, which is the green program, is not on the navicust. It's half outside of the borders. That's because we skipped through the tutorial, so Lan didn't learn any of the rules. So we can just put things wherever we want. The other big red program you might recognize is Buster Pack, and that's going to amp our Buster stats plus 3 to each, which sets them all to 4. This is handy because the Heat Cross charge shot is capped, hard capped at 130 damage, and it fires that in a cone. Okay, so basically what just happened was we ran to ACD Central Area 3, and we saw Cyber Beast Gregar. And Falzar? No, I think Falzar is only in the cutscene. So then we figure we have to do something about that, so we go ask our father, who is a big scientist kind of person, and he tells us basically that we should not go near the Cyber Beast. So we listen into one of his conversations and find out that Mega Man has the capacity to absorb a Cyber Beast. So we're gonna go do that anyway. Because that's gonna fix the net. And meanwhile we have this. We get to take out these evil soul things, the soul weapons, and that'll cleanse areas of the net. You get bug frags for the leftover ones, those aren't useful for anything in this game. Now, for these Dark Spirits, the red ones only take 1 hit to delete, the yellow ones take 2, and the blue ones take 3. However, if you ever hit one from behind, it will delete it instantly, regardless of what color they are. It's basically optimizing to do this in the least number of soul weapons possible, which will consequently take the least amount of time possible. And you can't get encounters during these segments, so it is all execution and menuing and movement. This is actually a really nice break for the speedrun. I really like the puzzle casually as well. Of course, you don't get a sense of that for the speedrun, because it's rooted and you already know what you're doing. Hey, Prism. Thanks, Dream Eaters. And welcome to the stream. Stream is dying? I've not dropped frames now. Since it cut there a little while ago, I've not dropped any more frames. It should be okay. Okay, so now Mega Man's overloaded by the Cyber Beast's power, and we have to go take Heat Man and run and get some recovery drop from a spring in Seaside Area 3. There's going to be some more of those ghosts on the way. We're going to have to take those out. This is also where you'll need the train arrow. You need it to go from Seaside Area 1 to Seaside Area 2. If it's stuttering like mad, that would be on the stream computer end. No one's saying anything in Discord though. It could also be on Twitch's end, but if multiple people are seeing it, then I'd imagine it is not. So, here's like a fortune-telling trick. Sneak run expired. I didn't have much time. I didn't choose my words properly there. The sneak run always expires there. I think that was a little early, so I guess I had kind of bad movement. Or maybe I activated it sooner, I don't know. So whilst that opens, we go over here to kill this guy. That saves like frames. So that's pretty cool. like the way the sprites look in this game. Yo, me too, thanks. I prefer 4, 5, 6 a lot to 1, 2, 3 for how the sprites look. Changed the tone from the first one, it did, yeah. And in fact, if you think the first one is different now, just wait. I have crack shot regged still, right? I think so. So you want crack shot regged for these, similar to the reasons you want it regged for the other fights. That's because you can do everything with just crack shot and heat press. Alright, this last fight, you can one-turn it, but there's something in the back row, and if you don't draw an extra chip to deal with that, it'll live with 20 health, assuming you do everything right. So, if it does, and you need an extra chip, Airshot will do it. It's a star code, 20 damage. We did not get either of those. So yeah, that's how that fight's meant to go. Except, ideally, you would draw an extra star code chip to take care of the thing in the back. Alright, and now Mega Man is recovered, and we get the Cyber Beast tutorial, the Beast Out tutorial rather. So this gives us a new form that we can use. This one is a little more limited than the Cross Souls. You can only use this for 3 turns at a time, and once you use it, you're locked in, of course. You can actually use this in conjunction with a Cross Soul, and you'll get a Cross Beast. Also, I timed that sword incorrectly. Normally that sword would just kill the 2 back guys, but now we have to wait. I'll show you how the sword's meant to do, I guess. There. So you have chip lock-ons with that. In this version of the game, you get super armor. In Falzar version, you get air shoes instead of super armor. You can charge non-elem chips, which is why earlier I was saying that non-elem chips are important. That'll do roughly 200 damage with my buster stats. It does do a little more if you have another attack +1. And if you do the Cross Beast, then specifically Heat Beast, because that's the one we have, you can charge non-emblem chips to do a pretty big attack that does 200 damage. That's generally not too useful, but it is actually very useful in one fight. It lets us do it much easier and more consistently. We'll get to that when we get to that. We'll be using Beast out in a couple fights probably, but not too many. This is Circus Man, he's a boss. Yeah, that was Circus Man, he's a boss. So, this is really the first look we get at the Heat Cross, and man, is it broken. So I'm going to pick up 2 full energies here, even though in a run I may not normally. It's going to make it a lot safer though. There are a couple points in the game where using one could be very beneficial. Guys, please, Wonder Swan is clearly the best Mega Man game. Three had a zoo, 4 had a pavilion, or not a pavilion. It's kind of a circus, I guess. It's a theme park. 6 has a pavilion as well. Never forget the secret village of the Meta. Apollo Justice is my favorite Mega Man game. Favorite Battle Network game, rather. She said should have gotten eaten by the condor. It would have saved us a lot of trouble in Red Sun. Oh, autopiloting. I thought I didn't pick up the, Did I pick up the unlocker? Sorry guys, I have to check. I was reading chat, I don't remember. I did, okay. Clearly I need to trust more. So we'll be using that unlocker for PMD later on, in this split actually. To explain the mystery datas briefly, the green ones are random. the BMDs are always in the same location, and they have fixed contents, and the PMDs are also the same as BMDs, only you need an unlocker to open them. Cameras are in the school for plot convenience. That's it. The school was set on fire yesterday. That is true. You're not wrong. Right, that quiz sets up for something later. It doesn't actually give us anything directly, but later on, as a result of doing that, another one will appear, and we'll be able to do that for a Navicus program that we want very, very badly. And this is the black bomb. We're going to go ahead and edit the folder now. We need to take out 3 things. I'm not 100% sure what I actually want to take out. This C code chip, I guess, and the F code chip. Oh. We need 2 more things out? It's like I don't even remember this game. To be fair, that edit is a little different than I'm used to. The point of that was to put a couple PAs in our folder to make Heatman's life a little easier, hopefully. And in addition to that, we threw a couple more non-elem chips in there. And regged copy damage again, which it'll stay on reg for the remainder of the game now. Most of these BMDs that I'm dodging are... Oh, oops. Most of these BMDs that I'm dodging are HP memories that are deliberately put in your path, but it takes frames to pick those up, so we don't bother. We already have 540 HP, that's all we need. I mean, sure, we have a minor HP bug, but that'll magically disappear later, it's fine. Oh yeah, we can go fight base now. Alright guys, we'll go fight base. I haven't practiced base, so this might be really bad. But the estimate does include a base fight, so we're gonna just go do that. I don't think this jacks you out automatically. Okay. This might be where I use one of the full energies, we'll see though. So if you don't know much about this series, then you won't know who Base is. Base is a secret boss that is very end game in all of the Battle Networks. It just happens that you can fight him pretty early on in Battle Network 6, so we're gonna go do that. Base is not quite free, but he is pretty easy, at least this first form. Base has 3 forms, I want to say, in Battle Network 6. This first one is pretty simple. We do have to run through the undernet, though. Okay, this fight was fine. So this is the power of Element Trap, which is a very, very good chip. If there's any elemental viruses in the fight at all, it just clears them. I am going to save before base. Is Sphero fighting base later? I don't know. I'll have to ask him. He is in chat. Do it this way. Oops. This is not going very well, and he cracked my panels, which is super bad. Okay, we did it. Base down. Yeah, so that's form 1 of base. It's another testament to how good heat cross is. Yeah, you guys could say that. Could say that I dropped the base. Dropped the base percent. You probably joke, but I wanted to make that a race category at one point. But obviously this game's not very popular for racing. Yeah, prof, I beat base already. Please, base is easy. Remember when that was a 2-hour checkpoint? Please, wasn't that bad. Oh, really, kid? Okay, we need to do a drop the base race. I want to do more randomizer races, to be honest. Those are really fun. You want to watch more randomizers? Cool. cool. Those are a lot of fun. I wouldn't forfeit a randomizer race. I just finished multiple hours before everyone else. We'll just use Black Bomb here. Too bad Bingo isn't very viable. Actually, I know a while ago Marco was working on something to do with Bingo. I'm not sure how it went though. It would be using custom ROM hacked ROMs though. Being 3 Bingo, it was a disaster. Oh. We'll leave it at that then. I know testing the actual ROMs was very entertaining. The internet is very dangerous. One minute you are chatting in an IM, the next minute you are fighting corn. With a mouse and glasses. Pretty much sums up this game, honestly. Oh, I thought Kid sounded really sad recently because he's been practicing WonderSwan 100%. Oh yeah, that's what he just said in chat. Okay. Alright, so this is the next set of comps. Next boss network. Basically, we can't backtrack onto the grass, but since we already have the route memorized for these comps in the speedrun, pretty much removes the gimmick entirely. Which means that this is one of the fastest sets of networks in the game, if not the fastest. That took 2 buster shots anyway. Boss fights are mostly great. We're talking about BN6. Shh, you guys didn't see that, it's fine. Judge mine was a quality boss. Rolls are more like suggestions in this game. Exactly. That is exactly right, Blazeman XD. So this is the other quiz that I was talking about. And we're gonna get what we actually want from this one. And that, Slip Runner, which is a Navicust program. Oh, I've failed to mention, but in the last Drudge Tree comp, the BMD we picked up was an expanded memory, which gives us an extra line on the Navicust. We'll pick up 2 of those. That is the last Navicust edit, though. The next one will kind of passively do something. Alright, so we're going to stop in this subcomp here. And we're going to be picking up something called a rush food. That's going to open up a shortcut in Sky Area 2 that's going to save us a lot of time. It's easily worth the 3k and few seconds it takes to come in here. Also, you saw what Slip Runner does there. It basically makes ice physics anytime you press B. When you tap B, you slide very fast forward, and you can't get encounters while sliding. So it effectively reduces your counter rate and speeds up your movement. Which is why it's, the best program in Battle Network history. At least for speedrunning. You could argue that Buster Pack is better, but that program exists in every game. Slip Runner is much more unique in that it's only in Battle Network 6. You also get the auto-running effect when you don't press B. Which also reduces your encounter rate. But I'll let them explain that in BN5 since it actually comes into play a little more there. My favorite MMBN game is Mega Man Battle Network 2. Or not 2, sorry, 4. Like, double the number of 2, and double the quality kappa. Yeah, Battle Network 4 is my favorite. Coincidentally, it's also the first I played. But I actually really enjoyed the multiple playthroughs in 4 as well as the tournaments. It's not a storyline game for sure, but it is very fun. Would this work? Yes. We are running all of the main Battle Network games. We're not running them in order, however. 6 is the first of the run, so you've got here in time for the whole marathon, so if you wish. Of course, it's going to be longer than 24 hours, so probably recommend sleeping. We do have a schedule. You do exclamation mark schedule. I think Ray already got that. That was unfortunate I missed the copy damage. It usually doesn't make a difference anyway, but so something unique about Black Bomb, you've probably noticed that if you hit it with the Fire Buster, it explodes and does its 250 damage. But actually, fire viruses do fire-type contact damage in this game, so if you throw it on top of a fire virus, it will also explode. So you don't have to heat cross at all. And this is where we'll be using the shortcut. These virus battles are all fixed, by the way, they're not random. They're the same every time, and as such, they are rooted. Copy damage does not actually help in this fight. Takes 2 buster shots, no matter what. Copy damage is very nice for these fights too. Likewise, I believe this one takes 2 shots. It does speed up this fight quite a lot though. Oh, if you don't miss. Wow. say that, but it's not too slow without copy damage. But it takes multiple buster shots, as opposed to literally only one buster shot. So as you can see, copy damage makes these fights very, very fast. It was an amazing addition to the route when we decided to try it out. It's not exactly Taskbot playing BCC, but I guess it's not really that far off something like that either. It is BCC playing itself. You'll see. It's very enjoyable. Got something special planned for that, I think. Oh, I should have taken copy damage. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have it working. Hey, Black Echo. This fight is pretty cool. So copy damage usually doesn't work in this fight. I'm just gonna go ahead and use Black Bomb. That's because BCC plays BCC is a beautiful thing. Oops. Are all of our folders still intact for BCC plays BCC? I'm not sure what exactly they're planning to do for it. So here we're picking up the second HP memory, or sorry, expand memory for the Navicust. And now our HP drain is magically gone, and we don't even have to edit the Navicust. BCC plays BCC is BCC playing itself. BCC is Battle Chip Challenge. The Fang games are Chrono X, Shanghai, and 3D. Shanghai is a Japanese Toho-inspired Battle Network fan game. Oop. We go this way. we need to pick up Heat Man and go save Mega Man again. BCC already plays itself by default. Yeah, you're not wrong. You thought there was some external form of automation. Well, there is, kind of. You'll see. I mean, once it's in game, it literally does play itself. You just have to get it to the battles. Dipping into this compass on purpose, it resets the encounter rate, which makes it slightly more likely to get to the end with no encounter, though clearly not likely because not like 100% because I still got one. So when we step outside of the school now, we're going to see that the weather is going crazy, and it's because things are a little messed up over in Skytown. Naturally, because LAN was just there, so something had to go wrong. So we're going to head over there and fix that. See earlier comment about switching to LAN in the aquarium comps to reset step counter. Does it though? What are those tiny pauses you take? I'm not sure what you mean. So welcome to the stream, Caleb. If I stutter in places and then start moving, usually it's because I'm like making sure I'm going the right way, basically. Like if I pause a little longer on the lev bus thing, it's because the lev bus animation is pretty long and I really don't want to take one and end up in the wrong place. And then if I stutter after talking to an NPC, that's because I'm spamming B. Because I can do that a little quicker than spamming A while holding B. Okay. You mean RNG manip? Yeah. Of course. What's the Navicus like? Right now we're using HP plus 400, Buster Pack, and is that it? No, Slip Runner, of course. Can't forget the most important program. Oh, and I think attack +1 is still in there? No, we take that out. Never mind. Yeah, that one program, Slip Runner, is why we're moving like this. Creates ice physics, which make things a little faster. Naturally, these encounters are all fixed fights. Oh, that's fine, Giga. Happy to answer questions. Ah, assuming I know the answer. Slip Runner and HP plus 400 and Buster Pack are the big ones. We also still have Undershirt in there. Forgot the copy bot. That's fine. Alright, so I just want to point out that this Skytown is something like 20,000 feet in the air, and land just jumps off of it in that cutscene, held up only by an umbrella. I think Star Force is good. Obviously it's not as good as Battle Network, but it's definitely great. Oops. What comp ahead of myself? Wait, no I'm not. I don't know the exact number. I think it's something like 20,000. So in this comp, I didn't even explain. You attempt to circle these clouds. You get this cloud. Can't get encounters while on the cloud. And you have to run around collecting the rainbow macaroni to help the clouds taste the rainbow, and that opens up the way. Since you can't get encounters on the cloud, you don't really get many encounters in this scenario at all. On this network. And the boss is MMBN, who... well, he doesn't put up much more fight than anyone else. Just put it that way. If you get hit another time after the cloud turns this color, you do fall off. Estimated time for any percent on this game. Estimates on the schedule, it does include base though. Say 130, 135 is very safe. 230, sorry. 230, 230, 35. So my estimate was 235, but I added 10 minutes just in case base took a while. Which it really didn't. Yeah, so MMBN's form change isn't random, he always goes wood first. So yeah, he kinda kills himself there. Getting ahead of myself, I don't have to talk to those guys yet. There's no special tags for emotes, you just write the word. It's cap sensitive though. So, I actually don't want that GMD, but I didn't have a chance to shoot it. I mean, Zenny's not bad, but I don't need it. Is there a reason you don't run from battles? Yes. Explained earlier, you weren't here at the time, but running from battles is based on your maximum base HP. The Navicus does not count towards that. So my run chance from these battles is actually desperately low, so if I try to run, chances are it will take 4 or 5 turns. At worst, you beat them in 1 turn. You could get really lucky and escape the battles, but it's pretty unlikely, so we just fight all of them. My base HP is only 140. The only areas I can run in are any comp that's not boss network or the main net, and central areas. So we'll sneak run through central areas, and you don't get encounters on off comps anyway, so yeah. That is pretty much why. I tried really hard to route a HP memory route and be able to run from everything, but it just wasn't viable. Which is actually something that's unique about this game. In pretty much every other Battle Network game, they either run from all their encounters or don't get any at all. Or at least attempt to run from all their encounters. It's really just 6 where you fight everything. Okay, so now that we have the code for that door on the internet, we can go back there. The slide thing comes from an Abacus program called Slip Runner. You have to do a couple of quizzes to get it, and we did those earlier, so we picked this up at the start of the Element Man scenario. And basically, it speeds up my movement. It's faster than running. When I don't tap B to slip, I have auto run anyway. And you can't get encounters while you're slipping, so you actually get a bit lower encounter rate. So in addition to speeding you up, it also reduces the number of encounters you get, so it's really handy for the speedrun. And it's fun. Which is obviously a bonus. Yes, you can get one anytime you hit a wall, you can get an encounter. So it just reduces them, it doesn't remove them entirely. There is a glitch with it later, which I'll show off. You can soft lock the game with it, but there's really no danger of doing that in a speedrun. You have to do something pretty specific in order to soft lock. The glitch makes you run at normal running speed. You don't get the slip speed, but it is still relatively quick. The reason it's not very useful is just the way the areas end up being set up. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what he did. So now we're back in AC/DC town. We get to talk to pretty much everyone. Lan talks to his main 3 friends in the cutscene, so we don't actually have to interact with those. Don't worry, Kabuto. 6 is the first game we're playing. We're not doing them in chronological order. I'm sure the schedule will be linked in chat. This will be going for at least the next 24 hours, I think. I'm not sure exactly how long the schedule is. That was unfortunate. Buster was slightly too early. Oh wait, sorry. That was not quite correct. I needed to talk to Roll first. That's fine. We didn't get an encounter, so it doesn't cost any time. This is MMBN 6. It's my favorite version of each game. That's interesting question. BN3 white. I guess BN4 red sun, although blue moon is faster for the speedrun. I like red sun better. If we're talking speedrun, I definitely prefer Gregar for 6, but Falzar is more enjoyable casually, I think. Where am I going, dude? For 5, I really only played through Colonel, so I guess Colonel. I like the Navis in Colonel better anyway. I'm not a huge fan of some of the ones in Proto Man. No encounter, nice. Still no encounter. Although, it's not that unusual for that. Okay, so now we have refights with Blastman and Diveman, the EX versions of each, naturally. What is this movement glitch? It's not a glitch, it's a Navi-Cust program called Slip Runner. You get it from doing a couple quizzes. Slip Runner speeds up my movement and reduces my counter rate, to put it simply. Okay, so this is Diveman. We're gonna try some stuff. It's not necessarily gonna work out, but we're gonna try. So, these torpedoes are all water element. Those bombs are not. So if I do get hit by the bombs, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna go ahead and take chips though, because we want to clear things out so that we have a nice set of chips, just in case we lose Heat Cross and want to go to Beast Out. I'm gonna try to do it with just Heat Cross. Of course, yeah, that rarely works out. You don't want to use both in that fight, because if you go Heat Beast and get hit with a water attack, you not only lose Heat Cross, you also lose Beast Out. Hey, we forgot. Thanks. Welcome to the stream. You guys think this is the worst first boss of the BN games? That depends on some variables. And what you mean by worst. If you mean which is the hardest, that's really tough. I don't think any of them are very hard. If you consider Shademan the first boss in BN4, then he is the least effective. You literally don't even fight him, you just buster him a few times and he goes away. But then you have things like BN1, and, well, you'll see Flame Man later. He's a joke. I do not always stream BN. I mostly stream BN. I want to stream more, but I've been streaming not much lately. Battle Network and Monster Hunter are my main games. Primarily speedruns. Yeah, maybe someday, forgot. Maybe someday. Which games do I play? I play Battle Network and Monster Hunter primarily. Runs BN6 and pretend runs BN4. He also claims he has played WonderSwan. Cool, thank you very much. Hopefully you will see me stream again in the near future then. I'm so confused. Kid cheats with the PAL version. That's not really cheating. I mean, he's going slower. Thank you, Unafraid Zio. You didn't know WonderSwan had a PAL version? Shh, Prof, it's a meme. Hey, Chaotic. Oh, I'm getting really caught up in chat, but there's more Dark Souls that we have to delete. The first area of Underground is it's not too bad. It's pretty straightforward. You have a couple soul weapons left over. But you'll see when we finish this area, we actually only have one soul weapon left over. So depending on if you mess up on this area, if you use the wrong soul weapon, you might be out of luck and have to restart the whole area. You can hop in Discord if you want, forgot. That's the G-Beast Perler, right? It is really cool, I have to say. Speaking of G-Beast, don't worry, G-Beast is easy every time. Especially when you draw double damage Elm Trap. G-Beats sounds like a new brand of headphones. Nice. You're not wrong, it does. Wait, I don't think I've said that, forgot. Yo. Okay, that was a perfect Colonel fight. Pretty much. I think I stay. No, 22 seconds. It's perfect. No idea what you're talking about, forgot. I guess you could say I, forgot. Yeah, dude, that was a nice fight. Normally he has a bunch more attacks, and he can actually crack your panels as well, which is really annoying. But you can lock him into his cross-div AI, and he'll just spam that move over and over again, unless you mess it up. It's pretty tight, so I'm happy to get that. You okay, forgot? You seem salty. So, more so than any boss fight, one of the fights in this split is actually the worst. Not this one, of course. That was super easy. Not this one either. The next fight is one of the worst fights in the game, and it's a virus fight. so I was told to save before it, and that's probably a good idea. I drew LM Trap, so it doesn't matter in the least. Don't really need copy damage here. Ideally the cattle will move to the center and we'll just kill it there. Oh, that was still pretty good. That was RNG manip, right? Yeah, saving manipped the element trap into slot 1, which put it in my opening draw. Something like that anyway. Yeah, BN2 is great. The BN2 speedrun is pretty nice as well. I'm not sure what route Kizaron is using, but it's going to be a good run either way. Like, both the routes for BN2 are very good. They're very different as well. 4 and 5 were just falls. Yo, 5 is really hit or miss. If you don't like the liberations, you're gonna have a bad sign. But if you do like them, it's actually really good. Very, very divided. I admit BN4 is the weak link by far. That doesn't stop it being my favorite though. Yeah, I think 5 is definitely objectively above 4. Throwing out personal preference. Although, it depends. For multiplayer, 4 is better because the chipper library is a lot better than it is in 5. Unfortunately, you can use dart chips in multiplayer, which totally ruins the balance. Oops, how to get on the map. I don't know if the dark chips in 5 are nerfed. They're definitely less useful for the speedrun. But the chaos unisons are really powerful. Okay, so this is the slip run glitch that was mentioned earlier. I move at regular walking speed, but I can't get encounters at all while I'm slipping. I can press B to cancel it, but if I hit a warp, or in the Japanese version, if you pick up an item, say through a mystery data, or a key item, then you'll soft lock the game. It's one of the reasons I prefer English now, because I actually set up off a BMD in one of the pavilion comps, which you can't do in Japanese. You do still run the risk of getting an encounter at the end, but it's probably about 50-50. For this instance in particular. Cool bot, he will be remembered. I would have thought you'd forget. Alright, so this is kind of the last stretch. This is the boss rush part of the game. Awkwardly, we've already deleted both Dive Man and Blast Man, so the first comp's not going to have a boss at all. Forgot. Oh yeah, Zenny grinding can be kind of painful. In BN6 it's not very fun to grind Zenny, but you're also given a lot, so it's not too bad. Alright, so now we go from happy fun times at the pavilion to, well... in the middle of the school, we talk to Chad, and then there are 3 knocked out punk nabbies. Yeah, slip run's one of the cooler parts about BN6 for sure. Unfortunately, the RNG and hard stuff is not very evenly distributed. Most of the RNG is really early in the game, and then most of the hard stuff is really late in the game. So, resets can be very tiring. Okay, you only have one opportunity once you pick that up, because obviously when you pick it up it's gone, but we're going to be slipwalking through this comp, and that's going to avoid encounters. This works out to be slightly faster at best, but much, much faster at worst. Because if you get a bad encounter in here, there are water viruses, and if you lose heat cross, it can take multiple custom gauges. I remembered at last second that that shark was there. Unfortunately, if you touch any wall, and that includes these tanks, you'll lose slipwalk. And the tanks, you do have to be very close to them to talk to them. To interact, rather. They don't really talk to you. Also, I can't really read chat while I'm doing this. BN4 is a very painful speedrun. It's not that it's hard or difficult or tedious in any way, but the RNG is just ridiculous with the tournament boards. Can you not slip glitch off any NPC? You can, but that prog at the start of the comp has a lot of text. If you lose it, you can get it back on that BMD there, but you have to do most of the comp. Okay, you can get an encounter there, and that would be the one encounter you get through the comp with that strat. I got none, so that was really good. Okay, now this comp. Oh boy. So, if you remember the gimmick for the Judge Tree comp. Oh boy. Oh, my poor heart can't take this trick. I got too far ahead of the gavel there and he sped up to catch me. Oh my gosh. Alright guys, I'm just gonna do the comp normal. Sorry. So if you get this first try, it saves 20 to 30 seconds. I don't know how to do this comp normally, dude. I do. If I fail this time, I'll do it normally. I'm sorry. Alright, we got it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh god, Judge Man attacked. I'm scared. That almost never happens. But when it does, this pattern goes way out of sync. Although it seems fine. Cool. Judge Man can attack. I know, right? Surprise. That cloud really should have hit me. It's okay, forgot. I know you don't have the best memory. It's easy to forget Judge Man can attack. I did not think that was gonna hit the cloud. I'm gonna fall off this thing for sure this time. Corners are the real boss in that. It really is. He crosses busted. It really is. Like, undeniably. These clouds are the worst. What? It walked through that thing. I almost got through there. Please. Oh. I got one. What? Okay, believe it or not, that was actually pretty good as far as this comp goes. Yeah. Is that fan or vacuum? Fan. Dang it. And that's Element Man again. I think it takes like one extra buster charge and that's it. Method, please, your fans are in chat right here. Thanks, Jess. Oh, that was wrong. Okay, we're doing this comp the old way. So we did route this comp, and this is the old route for this comp, which is to say this is the unroute for this comp. But that's how we're doing it now. You can't damage the candle with fire type attacks. I'm scared. Oh, I've soft locked the game with Black Bomb in this encounter before. I was careful this time, it's fine. That's a fairly tight fire skip too, but it is relatively easy. Guard dash attack Gateman, please. Guard dash attack Gutsman. Wind fan Gutsman. Didn't soft lock, I know, right? So I'm actually gonna jack out here because you can get an encounter on the way back. Yeah, I completely overloaded the game with Black Bomb once and it soft locked. Is it consistent? I doubt it. Does it work on hardware? I don't know. What's with the slide? That is a Navicuts program called Slip Runner. It lets us move faster and also reduces our encounter rate. Bosses in this game are really hard. Alright. Just for you guys, I'm gonna save. But Gregar is really free now. Yo, 228 in-game? I might come under the original estimate even though I did base. What's the timer at? Add like 50 to 60 seconds to the timer because of the delayed start. So this is the final boss. This is Gregar. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's fine though. And this is Heat Beast. Base is super easy in this game though. Yeah, you're not wrong. Alright, we done. Time. So, the reason that works is because Gregar has two hitboxes. Heat Cross, there is a frame delay between each hitbox of your buster, but with Heat Beast, there's no delay. So Heat Beast's charge attacks always do double damage to Gregar, as long as you hit both hitboxes naturally. So that means I'm doing 400 damage per charge. Yeah, 231 with based is really good.
Yeah, that is really good. We'll let this run for just a second. We're pretty much set up though.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a really good run overall.
It was some sloppiness, but I mean, it's to be expected, I guess.
For a marathon run.
Yeah, for marathon, I'm happy with that.
Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. as I'm sure you are.
My estimate without pace was 2:35. So
There you go.
who started using Heat Beast again? I believe it was Terra. Reminder of the record for VN6 is sub 10 seconds. Please. It's the hacking record. Peripherals
I mean,
percent.
technically, it's possible on hardware, I guess, kind of.
Yeah. You need to use e-reader though.
This is true.
You talking about Prof's 9-second world record?
Yeah. It's got bad menuing, man. I could beat it by at least a second. Look at those crosses you ignored. I know, right?
Do you have any closing statements or anything? We'll let the credits play out, and then we actually need to restart the stream to load in a different set of OBS scenes, and then we'll start the next one.
Do I have any closing comments? I mean,
Yeah.
not really. BN6 is a pretty straightforward speedrun. There's a little bit of trickiness around, but it doesn't save that much time overall, so it's very easy to get into if you're interested in running Battle Network.
I agree. I think 6 is probably one of the better entries into speedrunning this series.
And if you do really want to take the time down, there's lots of little things you can do and practice up on.
I
And
think all
then
the
you can do
games
Dive Man
are-
and just pray, basically.
Are pretty good speedruns in general, like especially if you don't take them seriously. The only time it's got stuff that annoys you is like small quirks or little bits of RNG that are largely irrelevant when you're not trying to get world record.
Yeah.
No reset runs and races are pretty fun.